Are mid-power e-bikes dead, or are they about to experience a rapid decline? In this video, I am going to show you the results of two surveys that I ran about this subject, and I'm going to give you 5 reasons why this seems to be happening or will be the trend moving forward. What's up, everyone? FC here with E-MTB, with an opinion piece. Just my opinion based on talking to industry, doing some research, and trying all these bikes. So what is a mid-power bike? A mid-power bike is something like this. This is the hallmark, 39 pounds. So a mid-power bike is 60 newton meters or below, and maybe 45 pounds and below. So something light, something with a motor, but not too heavy and not too much power. A full powered bike is what you see here, Pivot Shuttle. This is a Trek Fuel EXE, by the way. This is a Pivot Shuttle LT, a very fine example of the genre today. And what it is power from about 65 newton meters all the way to 120 newton meters. And the weight is typically between 48 pounds and 55 pounds for this one right here. And what I've done, so I live in the Bay Area, San Jose, California, riding mostly in Santa Cruz, and I saw the rise of full power bikes. Some of my friends used to have mid-power, but it really has been declining. So what I did was I ran a couple polls. The first poll is from this channel, the YouTube E-MTBR channel. It's a worldwide channel, mostly a nationwide channel, really about what do you want to buy in your next purchase. Is it a mid-power bike, as I've defined, or a full power bike? And 17% said they want a mid-power bike. 6% said they were not sure, and then the rest were full power bike. So huge. It's like a 4.5 times ratio of full powered to mid-powered, and I think that is a bigger ratio than it was before. Before it was like 3-to-1. So it's always been a smaller market, but I think that market will be shrinking according to the survey. But then I did another survey because I know mid-power has some regionality to it and a maturity to it, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. So what I did is I ran a poll in the exact same poll in the NorCal E-Bikers Facebook group. Is comprised a lot of the Bay Area, some of the foothills, Lake Tahoe region, and beyond. And the results were shocking. The exact same verbiage, exact same wording, and what the results were 3% mid-power, and the rest going about 2% not sure. So they're a little more certain of what they want, and the rest, an astounding 95% full power. And something unique about the Bay Area, the Santa Cruz area, is we've been riding e-bikes. It's a mountainous area for sure, hilly area, and it's a Silicon Valley obviously, and then Santa Cruz. And we've been riding e-bike significantly for 4 or 5 years on the trails. And last year it took over 50% usage on some of the trails, some of the great popular trails in the Santa Cruz area. So it's definitely a more mature market and an indicator of where it's going, and the trends on a hilly area, where e-bikes have a significant fun advantage. Okay, so that's my data for what's going to go happen to the mid-power. So I'll give you 5 reasons on why this is happening, on why the rise of full power and the decline of mid-power is happening. And in the end, I'm going to give you my conclusion, what I think is actually going to happen. Are they going to disappear, or are they just going to just hold their ground or shrink slowly? So the first reason why the mid-power is declining in popularity in many places is range. And the realization that range, that weight savings comes from battery weight. It's not the motor weight. The motor weight, you save about 2 pounds, maybe less now. And a lot of the savings you have in weight is in the battery. You can either have a 10-pound battery or a 4-pound battery. And so what you're giving up really is range. And I think people don't really realize that when they're buying the mid-power. They say, I just want something light and agile. I don't need that much assist. But it's not the assist. It's how long can you go? And so something like this, I can go about 3,000 feet, working pretty hard. And something like this, I can go about 7,000 feet. So that's really what you're giving up, and once people see that's happening, and they're all like, oh, wow. I never go on turbo, but I do want to go on long rides. I do want to go on longer rides that I do on my regular mountain bike. The second big reason for the decline of mid power is, people wanted them to have a good riding bike, a fun riding, light, lively bike, jump high, corner well. And what happened is the maturity of the full power bikes has happened. 5 years ago they were awful. I wouldn't take them to Downeyville, but now they are incredible. And this is an example: the Orbea Wild, the Crest line. I've reviewed a lot of these, and they're like, wow, I'm cornering better, I'm jumping higher and more active than in my mid power bikes. So you get used to it, but more important, the industry is catching up. You come to realize that you can make these bikes ride so well, just as good or better than the light bikes. You just need to work on suspension, the kinematics, and the braking. Very, very important, and that's been happening in spades. And in April, there's 3 new bikes I've been riding that haven't been released yet, that are like, I see the writing on the wall with the ride quality, and not a lot is developing. I'm not seeing any new releases this April on the mid-power segment. The third reason, and this has become very important here in Santa Cruz, where e-bikes have become accepted, is group rides. Group rides, when you have an e-bike group ride, the mid-power really, that's its kryptonite. There's no such thing, at least in my circles, about 10 groups that I join every once in a while. There's no such thing as a mid-powered e-bike ride. A lot of the mid-power bikes, they just ride solo, or they join a group of regular mountain bikes, maybe because they're a little heavier, they're a little weaker, and it happens. But whenever a mid-powered bike joins a full-powered bike group ride, it is not. It's like oil and water. It's not a great mix, especially if you do it regularly. Once in a while, it's okay. You get to hang out with an old friend. But if it's a regular weekly thing, it doesn't work out. The reason is the range is a significant problem with this guy, and also the power, the pace. Most of the group rides will ride in trail mode, and that means the mid power has to be on turbo. The range gets even shorter, and so what happens is the mid power riders have all this battery anxiety, and they're all like, what's your guys' battery? What's your guys' battery? Because they only have a 300 or 400 watt hour, and these guys have an 800, and they're all like, I don't know, we don't care. We're fine. We're like 80%. So that's what's happening over and over again. And unless you're the group leader on the ride, you're gonna get left behind. And they often, almost 100% of the time, they often have to cut it short. And if they don't know the way back to the car, the whole group has to cut it short. So group rides are kind of the Achilles heel, the kryptonite of the mid-power bike, because most of them are on full power bikes, dominated by what the Specialized Levo started, 700 watt hour batteries and above. All right, the fourth reason is the market for the mid power bike is a special one. It's for the fit rider. I'm an older rider, but I like to cross country, so I've tested 10 mid power bikes. So I'm not talking out of my imagination here. Fit folks who are older, they want to keep on riding, but they can't lift anything. They're just gonna tool around, and then the other is the haters, the ones who are what do you call that? E-bike anxious, e-bike curious, e-bike anxious. You go here because you're afraid of the noise, you're afraid of the weight, you're afraid of the hate from other riders. You don't want to be heard. You don't want to be seen. You want to be stealthy. Does it look like an e-bike? So that's the target market for the mid-power bike. A lot of the people who gravitate towards it. That's the kind of the gateway drug to e-bikes. But now I feel like the gates of e-bikes are opening up in many areas, and so there's no need to pretend like you're on you're working hard or you're not on an e-bike, you have your options now. And as the riders mature, as the areas mature, they just gravitate toward full power. So that is I think one of the key reasons. Now, does that mean the target market for the mid power will disappear? I think they'll still be there. The ones who go on solo rides, the ones who just really want to keep riding and venture out. Not too big of adventure rides, but you want to get out, from the house. They're still going to be there. All right, the last reason why the mid power is declining and the rise of full power is happening is because e-bikes are, at the end of the day, they're a fun and enabling machine. That's what differentiates them from the mountain bike. And, fun, meaning you could do so much more. People say, oh, I got to do more laps. I go, no, don't say laps. Just you get to do more trails. Laps has the connotation you're doing the same thing over and over. No, instead of doing 2 trails, 3 trails on the perfect hero dirt day, you get to do 9 trails, 9 different trails. And man, the progression is amazing. The smile on your face is good. The effort could be the same. It could be likely less, but it could be more as well. So a lot of possibilities are enabled with a full-powered e-bike. You can explore. You can get lost. Now you can add batteries. You're going to have these bikes. Like I said, the advancement of e-bikes is so incredible that you can have these bikes. Like you can have a small battery, a medium battery, or a big battery. We have this company called DJI, where it's a full powered bike, 120 millimeters, and it can be 42 pounds. So that's kind of the evolution. The flexibility, the options on the full power are becoming have always been good, but now they're getting even greater. I mean, having an extender is going to be the norm for full powered bikes. So you can have like a light configuration and put an extender for a more adventurous or range configuration. So those are my 5 reasons. What do I think is going to happen? Are mid-powered bikes going to disappear? I think the answer is no. It's not that drastic, but definitely the market share is going to decline. The amount of R&D that's going to be happening in this segment is going to be less. I've talked to a few industry designers, product managers, and really they're going to throttle down their efforts a little bit on this segment because, why would you spend so much on your super light model as much as your full power model when you're going to have 1/5 the sales or 1/10 the sales? So definitely niche market, not going to go away, much like the fat bike or the single speed bike. They're still around, but definitely it's not a growing part of the future. And I think when you are considering your next purchase, you got to think about that. Are you going to do group rides? Are you going to want to explore the options that these things enable are really quite revealing, and that's why people are gravitating towards the full power as opposed to the mid power. Let me know your thoughts. Just an opinion piece, but I appreciate your time, and if you comment below, I will promise to respond. Thanks a ton.